Hello everyone, thank you very much for your valuable time. We are the Tanaka Laboratory team. The goal of our presentation is to propose an ultra-lightweight, large-scale solar array for lunar orbiting SPS. First, I will present recent trends in lunar utilization. Interest in lunar exploration has been growing, particularly around the lunar South Pole, where water resources are believed to exist. These resources are expected to serve not only as drinking water, but also as sources of oxygen and rocket fuel. Such utilization is crucial for supporting the construction of lunar-based and enabling human exploration. The discovery and use of lunar water are key drivers for sustainable activities on the Moon. On the lunar surface, there are two major challenges in generating solar power. First, the long lunar nights. A lunar night lasts about 14 days within a 28-day cycle. During this period, it is difficult to generate sufficient power, so a stable energy supply system is required. Second, there are regions where power generation is impossible. For example, areas near the lunar south pole are permanently shadowed, making solar power generation infeasible. Therefore, we need a system capable of transmitting energy directly to these regions. As a possible solution to these challenges, the use of a lunar SPS is being considered. A lunar SPS is a system that converts electrical energy into radio wave and transmits it to the lunar surface. This system has two major advantages. First, it can provide stable energy regardless of day or night, making it reliable power source for lunar mission. Second, by using wireless power transmission, energy can be flexibly delivered to different locations simply by changing the position of the receiving antennas. As shown in this figure, a configuration that separates to the power generation system and transmission system has been studied. In addition, as indicated in the pie chart, in conventional SPS, the power generation system accounts for about 25% of the total mass. In this study, we focus on the power generation system and aim to reduce its mass and improve its performance. Our research focuses on the construction of lunar SPS. Building such a system through multi-site branches would be extremely costly. Therefore, our objective is to realize the system with a single branch. To achieve this, we must consider both right design and efficient deployment method to reduce transportation costs. The research content is divided into two parts. First, we propose ultra-light structures. Specifically, we focus on thin-film solar cell and power collection and distribution cables. By reducing their weight, we aim to acquire a high specific power. Second, we propose deployment method. We compare panel fold and mirror fold to evaluate their safety and shortage efficiency. Based on this comparison, we will select the most suitable deployment method. In this presentation, we will discuss ultralight structures. First, I will explain the selection of thin-film solar cell and our design target. In conventional power generation systems, such as the solar array, on the International Space Station. The specific power is limited to about 30 watt per kilogram. Therefore, achieving a higher specific power requires the use of lightweight, flexible, and foldable thin-film solar cell. Among thin-film solar cells, CIGS and 3J GARS are considered particularly promising for space applications, and we examined them as representative candidates in this study. CIGS offers high reliability and excellent radiation resistance, while 3J gas provides a high conversion efficiency of about 30%.
When comparing specific power, CIGS reaches 922 watts per kilogram, which is significantly higher than the 510 watts per kilogram of 3J gas. Based on this, we selected CIGS for this study. For our 200 kilowatts class power generation system, we set a design target of 500 watts per kilogram in specific power, considering the total mass including solar cells, spot films, and power cables. The structure is shown on the right. Next, I will explain the thermal analysis of the solar array and how its size was determined. The efficiency of a solar cell decreases as its surface temperature rises. Therefore, we analyze the temperature of the solar array in orbit and calculate the required area. The analysis model consists of solar cells and polyimide film. Here is a table showing the thermal analysis conditions and thermo-optical properties. Under these conditions, the thermal analysis showed that the surface temperature of the solar cells reaches 100.45 degrees. Assuming the array is square, the length of one side is calculated to be 51.23 meters. Based on thermal analysis results, we calculate the mass of alumina cable as a function of voltage. The equation includes output power, density, resistance, cable length, and voltage, assuming a Joule loss of 10%. As shown in the graph, at the low voltage, the cable mass is very large, but it decreases rapidly as the voltage increases. Therefore, operating at high voltage can significantly reduce the weight of the cables. Furthermore, we calculate the specific power. Specific power is defined as the output divided by the total mass of the solar cells, polyimide film, and cables. As shown in the graph, the specific power increases as the voltage rises. To achieve the target value of 500 watts per kilogram, a voltage of at least 484 volts is required. Meeting this condition also allows for a reduction in transportation costs of approximately $1.2 million. In this study, we conducted a conceptual design of a power generation system for a lunar SPS. First, CIG thin-film solar cells were selected as they are lightweight, flexible, and possess high specific power, making them well suited for space applications. Next, thermal analysis revealed that the required panel size. Furthermore, by raising the distribution voltage, the cable mass was significantly reduced. As a result, the target specific power of 500 watts per kilogram was achieved. Finally, this lightweighting through high voltage operation also contributes to lowering launch costs with an expected reduction of approximately $1.2 million. Thank you for listening.